Captain Sammy reporting for duty. Welcome to the first video in my private pilot's license journey, otherwise known as the PPL. I thought it would be a kooky idea to learn how to fly. It's something that I've always wanted to do, to be clear. I've always had a fascination with flying, just thought it'd be a really fun thing and a really good time to do it. And I thought, why not bring you all on the journey with me? So this, like I say, is the first video in, I hope, a long series of videos about learning how to fly. And when I say you're coming with me, it's a journey, I will be using my meta glasses to film everything. It will be the easiest way for me to show you through, as if you were there, you know, first-hand POV of learning how to fly. I found a flying instructor, a flying school, obviously flying school and then flying instructor. His name is Dave, very, very good. He used to fly for BA. He is incredibly experienced. I've met him, he's so lovely, really nice, exactly what you'd want in a flying instructor, just super calm, super relaxed, super experienced, and just a very nice person. So I feel very lucky that I have found this instructor to take me on my journey. I have been practicing. I have been on Flight Simulator. I've got the Microsoft 2026 or 2025 Flight Simulator software, and I've got the controls. So I've been doing that at home. I learnt with the basics, you know, I started learning the basics, you know, takeoff and, well, takeoff really, landing is actually incredibly difficult. But controls, things like that. So I have been prepping. Now I had a lesson planned, but sadly, and is the way with learning or starting to learn in the winter, it got cancelled because of bad weather. I don't think this will be my first cancellation, and I'm fine with that. I don't want to fly in bad weather. I actually suffer quite badly from motion sickness. Alan and Stephen have just woken up apparently. But I started learning how to fly in the winter, so it, you know, it was always going to happen. That's fine. I think I'll get so many lessons in over the summer months. Perfect. But my first lesson was cancelled due to bad weather. But like I say, I don't mind that. Fine, safety first. I really don't want to fly in bad weather. So come with me on my first flying lesson and see what you think. I will be sat here narrating in my official pilot's hat, so you know all your information is good. And yeah, so as you can see here, we are taxiing on the runway. Dave is, I'm just checking my hat, there we go. Dave, obviously it being my first session, I mean, I don't even know at what point I would be the person that does this part, but he is obviously doing the takeoff. I actually was feeling really calm. I had my travel sick patches on, I had travel sickness tablets. This bit was really, actually really like, whoa, because it's a tiny plane. Obviously that's amazing. But yeah, so as you can see, it's a perfect day, hardly any clouds, there was no wind, the sun was just going down. It was 3 o'clock, so it was just perfect. It was really nice. And as you can see, I have my right hand on the stick there. That's so I can feel everything that's going on. Dave at this point let go, as you can see, and it's just showing me how just even the most tiny movements can affect everything. I was also going through the controls there. I definitely, when I left this lesson, didn't remember a lot of, almost anything, but he did actually get me to buy this. So it's the flying training manual. I mean, it's thick, but very, very good. I'm just working my way through it now. So again, how beautiful is that? The British countryside, so incredibly beautiful. But I am in control here. So we headed out to the coast, as you can see. We were just cruising around. So I think they call this a discovery flight. So I say lesson, it was a lesson, but it was more a discovery flight. But this hour, I think we were up an hour and a half, no, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. But this does actually class as an hour towards your training. So it's 40 hours, a minimum of 40 hours that you need. And I will be surpassing that minimum, let me tell you. But it does count towards it. And it was really good that I've done the flight simulator, because that really helped, actually. Just understanding how even tiny incremental movements, like you can see my hand moving around now, tiny incremental movements affect so much. And I know that that's obvious, but I don't think it was as obvious to me until I was up in the air. And then, as you can see, Dave sort of, we didn't do that way. It was a very steady flight. I suspect that's for a reason on the first flight, and I'm perfectly happy with that. Like I say, I suffer quite badly with motion sickness, but this, I was perfect. But I think I ate a few hours before. I had the travel sickness patches on, and I had travel sickness tablets. So long may that continue, because honestly, I'm terrible to travel with. I'm awful. I would just stick my headphones on, you know, get over it. So I've sped it up a bit here so that, you know, you can just admire the British countryside. Like I say, so this was in November, so it got dark very quickly. This was probably at about 4 o'clock, I think, this one. So we were coming back to the airfield. If you can see there in the middle of the screen, there's a bright light. That is the runway that we're aiming for. I obviously was not going to be the person that was doing the landing, but I was still holding onto the controls here. I believe that Dave let me get to this. So you can see that he's pulling off the throttle, getting ready to land. It was just so pretty, guys. It was so nice. I just feel so lucky that my first flight was this peaceful. And also that light, I didn't realise means that the well, I don't know if this is the case in all airports, but for this, it means that the runway is just to the right of that light. It was, I say it's getting bumpy. I'm just very sensitive to anything like this. So it was actually incredibly smooth. I'm sure I'm just being a bit of a baby. Obviously, we're coming down quite close now. I, at this point, knew that I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. And the landing, it might look a bit bumpy, but actually, obviously, Dave being the hero that he is with the most experience, look how smooth that is. I mean, as if I'm in a position to be like grading or rating his landings when I would just nosedive into the runway given the opportunity. But yeah, that was my first lesson. So hopefully you enjoyed coming with me on that journey. I have another lesson booked in soon, but obviously, as I mentioned, because it's winter, who knows what will happen. But I really hope that you're going to come with me and get my PPL. Could you imagine if I am flying one day by myself? That will be both terrifying and amazing. But hope you've enjoyed, and make sure you keep checking back to see if I had my second lesson. Thank you.